Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have an interesting game. So basically, we got up here, we have a Walker. On the southern team, we have Tipsushi, and they are doing, I think it's a marathon game. Originally, it was supposed to be a best of 10, but I think they're just going to be playing games up until someone has a lead of something, as in like a lead of 5 or a lead of 3. But we can see, Walker pulling out some insane game knowledge here. So these floating wind generators actually produce 20% more wind than their on-ground counterparts. So despite costing the exact same amount. So incredible play by Walker here. That's some good game knowledge, especially with wind being as violet it is averaging out to 9. Solar's being better here, but so there is some reclaim on this map. Yeah, a lot of Uloks at mid. Walker's going to be going for that. Although Tipsushi, you're going to see that as well. Getting out a lab a little bit faster. Not going to be assisting, instead going for some more energy production. So that just means that Tipsushi is going to have his units get there just a little bit faster. A few AKs to back it up. Looks like he's going to go for mid fast. Also, Walker went for 2 Nexus prior to his lab. Tipsushi only went 1, assisted a little. And Tip, I think. No, he's just doing his entire economy off of 1 solar collector. Interesting play there. So look like he is walking his commander though. Gonna go for this little 3 metal patch here. Walker getting a pulverizer up, looking to see if Tipsushi goes early air. Another thing is that we're seeing both sides going core here. Interesting, because normally I'd just think that Walker is an arm player, but I think for 1v1s he likes core more, especially on this. Need to fix that, but especially on this map with these tight choke points, sumos especially are going to be incredibly deadly and impossible to push into. There's also some Uloks here. I don't know if either side is realizing it at this point. But Walker's might is going to go up mid, completely unsupported. If that gets caught out by AKs, that's going to be devastating. Yeah, Tip. Not really having to worry about too much economy because of, there he is, going to get caught out. It's unfortunate for Walker. Yeah, he's already throwing in the towel. That's a bit unfortunate. Because if Tip has units here, that means he's going to get all these nice reclaims. And that means that Walker just isn't going to be able to push out. Especially with his commander being walked up like that. Meantime, Walker is also starting to walk his commander, not having nearly as much metal due to not having the reclaims here. But that's just Tipsushi's prioritizing build order differently. And a lot of solars out from Tipsushi. And it's notable that Tip isn't assisting his lab, but Walker does have 1 construction unit assisting. Although he doesn't seem like he has the metal to support that. So it's really just going to be Tipsushi having more production regardless. Gonna make some plays here. Pushing in. Still getting all of these reclaims. Yeah, looks like Tip does know of the reclaims up here, sending a AK just to check to see if there are any mites there. I'm gonna see some scouting out here. Gonna find his commander. The commander's laser is actually pretty interesting because it's a really far attack and it does good damage. But like I never feel like it does anything because it's almost never used. If you see the commander, arguably they're just gonna immediately degun you. Walker's just gonna immediately control D. That's a GG. Alright, we're back at it again in the marathon game versus Tiptushi and Walker. This time Tiptushi going to be on North. Both of them having the same start, just solar into K-Bot for those sweet reclaims at middle and off these little sides here, but hey, who's counting? Tiptushi going to go into reclaiming, trying to get mid fast, same as last game. Walker going to start with Might. I think he's learned his lesson from last game, though, and he's just going to go ahead and guard his lab for fast mid control. Wouldn't blame him. Other than that, escalation 1v1s always have a pretty slow early game. And a lot of the big maps that require that you have to support the giant tier 2 and T3 battles, they're pretty big, and a lot of the T1 units, they have to walk all the way across to get to the other side. So in case you're wondering, answer the question of why did the TA unit cross the entire goddamn map, it's because the map is just fucking ginormous. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. I'm gonna see some windmills out from Walker. It's an interesting play. This is a solar map. But that might just be instinctively hotkeying it. I wouldn't blame him. Seeing a little banter out. Something notable is that Walker started with his Might and then went into AKs. So Tiptushi's AKs are going to get here slightly faster. But yeah, no, Walker's just gonna send his Might down here for these safe Ulaks down here. Tiptushi's Might is going to be a bit slower. Although there's going to be this big gap that if Walker can get his units to middle and win this fight here, then he might have mid control, which could be ginormous. Yeah, he's going to see that AK back off, waiting for them to all regroup. And then my commander sounds are broken for, because I was trying to replace some of them, so if you would just politely ignore that. I'll get that fixed by next game. Yeah, Tiptushi going to send his Might to middle, see if he can get the mid reclaims. Then Walker sent an AK around here. Don't know what's up with that. I think he might be trying to catch the Might. Some interesting plays here. Looking back at the economy, Tiptushi is starting to walk his commander up to the Trimexes. Nothing guarding the lab. Same plays out here from Walker. Although no second solar because he has this winds. And yeah, ooh, I think that yeah, I think Walker actually killed off Tip's Might. I'm not seeing it on the mega map anywhere, so that's huge. Walker's gonna have to bring it up, but I don't think yeah, that's where it was right there. Ooh, that's actually a really big play from Walker. It's actually successfully stunting Tip's ability to actually play mid. We're going to see a bit of first actual battle here. It's going to be a little bit of banter back and forth between AKs. And Tip has to go back and create a second Might, which is incredible on the economy side, because if we go back here, they are expensive. Yeah, 130 middle. A little bit of a strain on the energy side, but not too much. Yeah, and it looks like this game, Walker is going to be the one grabbing those sweet, juicy mid-reclaims. In terms of commanders, though, we're seeing a second lab already out from Walker because he had those reclaims from down here. He's able to support that. Not going to turn it on just yet. I don't think he has the energy to do that. Waiting for him to start those solars up. Walker's has a little bit of an AK party back there, 6 AKs. Don't know what he plans to do with them though. I think this he's gonna sit back and grab reclaims. Ooh, yeah, that is. He's been waiting for although does he have info? No. Although he does now. I'm gonna get his Might caught out there, a bit of an overextension. Although Tiptushi's second Might going to get caught out by Walker's AKs. That is tragic. And now Walker has a party up there going into Tiptushi's base. Although he doesn't have anything for mid. He had a lot of his mid AKs. Although with 2 labs, this is going to be really fast getting them back up. Second lab out from Tiptushi already. He's going to have his commander guarding it this time. So he's going to have the build power to get that big army back up quick in order to fight mid. And then middle Uloks have not been reclaimed yet. Tiptushi had 2 mites dead, and Walker had his mite that get killed off. So, ooh. Bit of a slow start. This is a much better game than last game, though. Walker has his commander walk all the way to mid. I wonder if we're going to see some D-gun action. That would be a little bit of a annoying play by Walker, but I wouldn't put it past him to try that. Especially with the ability to get the commander to reclaim these Uloks. Walker's aggressive little party here is going to get stunned. If it can get up there, it's going to find some of these mexes. That's going to be pretty big. As for commander, still guarding that lap. We're starting to see some construction K-bots come out. A mere 6.5 minutes into the game, and we're just now seeing our first cons. If I were playing this, I would have had like, I think 3 by now. But then again, I'd also probably be losing. Starting to see some really big AK armies out here now. No one's switching off AKs yet, although we are seeing some construction K-bots coming out from Walker. And yeah, Walker's just gonna go ahead and bring his commander up here to reclaim these mid Uloks, boxing Tiptushi into this little choke point here. Check totals real quick. They're both at the same medal, despite Walker getting all of these reclaims and Tip not. So I wonder what the difference is made up by. Probably by just more aggressive mexes from Tip having a better economy. Although Walker very quickly going to get these middle mexes up before reclaiming, I hope. I hope he reclaims. Although massive AK clump by Tiptushi. His commander's been guarding this lab for quite a while now, so he would have the slight advantage here over Walker's just unguarded labs that are producing construction K-bots at this point. Although the commander and the LLTs are going to make this nigh impossible to push in with AKs alone. We're going to have to see storms coming out soon if we want to see, or thuds. Thuds would also be quite a good counter to this, especially with the choke point. Well, let's see if Walker tries to do something here. You can so when you burn Uloks... Oh, the mite! I didn't even see that. That was a ridiculous play. Yeah, Tiptushi decided to just go nuclear, just drop a huge walking bomb onto all of Walker's units. And that's an incredible play. I almost forgot that unit was tier 1 here. Yeah, incredible gamble that paid off. It is such a fast unit. I remember Thanos hitting me with quite a few in some of our 2v2s that I played way back when. Although Ulok's going to remain unburnt. And Mite coming out. Yeah, Walker's going to have these Uloks. Although not going to be able to do much with the metal right now, as he is stalling on energy. Tip showing that you can play aggressive, but just not going to be able to... Ooh. Looks like Walker wants to get in on the fun, bringing out a mite of his own. And we're going to see Tip blocking. Yeah, Tip knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two, evidently. Going to sacrifice a few AKs to block out Walker's mite from getting into his core AK clump. And now we are seeing some thuds. We are seeing some storms coming out from Walker, so... Likewise from Tiptushi. Doing a quick backline check. Walker reclaiming his K-bot lab up in the backs in order to front load his base. Meanwhile, Tiptushi, yeah, starting to get some storms out. Start using those construction K-bots, trying to get a Geo up. If you can get that Geo up, that would be incredible because right now the game is basically being played off energy. Real quick check, radar control. Tiptushi has radars up front, although a risky play here. I don't see any radars coming out from, nope, not right here. Although I don't know if that extends all the way. I'd assume it comes out to like around there. Nope, goes all the way up. So, got two radars being able to see each other. I'm not seeing any thuds coming out from Tiptushi. Gonna rely entirely on storms for long distance damage. Thuds have really good splash damage, so if you catch an AK cluster like this out in the open, like most of this map is, it's going to be huge because all the splash damage is going to tear through it in seconds almost. And Tiptushi's backline infrastructure looking a lot healthier than Walker's, although that's partially because Walker's just been front-loading his base, walking his commander all the way to middle. I don't know if there's any gentleman's agreements in play that say that Walker isn't allowed to walk his comm past mid. Although maybe that's just a bit of a risky play to do here. Not reclaiming any of the Uloks with his commander. Unsure of what he's even doing. Although these thuds are going to... Yeah, Tiptushi reading what's going on right now. Gonna start making some thuds of his own, although might be a little too late. We're seeing a construction K-bot out here. Wonder where he's going. Might be trying to get up here to set up some sort of fortified stronghold. Although Thud's gonna be able to, Thud's with the AK push, gonna be able to push back Walker's units just a bit more. We are seeing a construction K-bot coming up. He's gonna try to fortify the area with LLTs. I think this is where Walker is just gonna try to not get pushed back any further. Yeah. AKs sitting in the kill zone with these thugs. Not much they can do at a distance, so Tiptushi's gonna need to get the thuds out. Although switching to storms. Looks like he's going to put all his money on his micro skills to see if he can out-micro the thuds. He's going to spot this LLT though. From the looks of it, Construction K-bot going to get past just fine, setting up radar and nexus. So yeah, trying to capitalize on this space up here. Although Walker's thuds just going to cut them off. Looks like he's going to try to push in a bit. He has that radar coverage. So he can radar target things, although I don't know if Tiptushi has the units to push him back. Storm's coming out en masse though. And it looks like Walker going to be pushing up as well, probably going to catch out this construction K-bot. That's unfortunate. Yeah, he is pulling his units back. So let's see what Tiptushi here does. Yeah, he's going to make just a mad dash for the Uloks there to see if he can get the reclaim out before the thuds get to him. If we bring up totals, see how everyone's economy is doing, Tiptushi is ahead in metal despite only having a third of the map, which is quite frankly incredible. And construction K-bot going to go down here. And there's really just nothing he can do against the incumbent thuds. Max going to stunt out any plays from storms, and yeah, Tiptushi's going to call in his tower here and control D. And that's going to be game number 2 going to Walker. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to, I think this is game 3. I think the score is 1-1. Yeah, Walker won the last game. So it's been quite a bit, maybe like a little over an hour or so since the last game. Walker took a break to go deal with his children. So, same starting positions as last time. We got Walker on the southern team, Tiptushi on the northern team. The different build order coming out from Tiptushi here. Gonna prioritize a bit more on eco. Walker is just gonna go straight for the reclaims at mid. And I think the last game changed Tiptushi's mind of how he wants to play these games. Like, yeah, these reclaims are big, 50 metal per, But I think that Tipsushi believes that he can win in the by pushing out of this choke point here if Walker goes too aggressive to mid. And so I think that's why he's going to be just bulking up his economy early on instead of just immediately going for reclaims, as we've seen. Meanwhile, Walker gonna go straight up there. I think he got lab down before his mechs, playing this like Supcom. Yeah, gonna be reclaiming little foliages, the teeny tinies, for some energy to get that solar up. We haven't seen any of the floating winds ever since Walker tried that one time. And no might coming out from Tipsushi yet. I think he's just gonna let Walker get those, or because that might is gonna get a few of his reclaims before the AKs get there, since Walker got the lab down immediately. But that does mean that Tip is in quite a good situation for dealing with it. Again, I think he has, yeah, Commander's gonna be assisting on lab. He's gonna win mid early, while I think Walker walks calm. Yeah, Walker's complaining about the map. It's a very early one-sided map. If you get mid, then you're in such a great position because your opponent can't really push out. This is definitely a map. It's a map for bigger games, I think. You can have some interesting 2v2s on here. I don't like the water part. I wish this were lava. But I do like the fact that it is a larger map that can be played with a group of people as a choke. Like, it's a larger map that it's definitely long in terms of how far you have to get to your opponent's base. But it's one of those long maps that you can play with people. You don't have to go from corner to corner. This big block in the middle prevents any of that from happening. So, Tip gonna get a con to assist, so he definitely is trying to bulk up his army to win this game. Walker gonna have his might down south to get the free locks before I think going up mid. Walker's actually gonna bring his commander back to assist on lab. Interesting. And we're gonna see some walking from Tipsushi. Gonna go for these little 0.2s over here. Interesting. Normally, I think you'd walk over to this triple mechs right here, get your economy up really fast. But no, I don't. I have to see what's going on here. Meanwhile, his gamble paid off, and he has much more mid control than Walker here. And if Walker's not paying attention, his might is gonna run straight into these AKs. Let's see. Yeah, he's definitely gonna. Is he gonna notice it though? Ooh, he has his screen down here, and I just don't think he got it. He is keeping an AK back here to check for any back doors, but looks like Tip is gonna be pushing forward. And yeah, now his commander getting some of these mexes. I think he wants to just push straight through, like do a little hook there. Meanwhile, Walker definitely going for a much more construction unit-based economy here, getting 3 out already, having 1 help his commander assist on lab. Meanwhile, Tip only has one construction unit assisting, going for a might just now that he has mid control. And he sneaks an AK past. Ooh, if he has nothing he can bring down to help. Does Walker have radar? Okay, Walker has radar. He's going to be able to see that. I don't think he's going to notice it, though. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, he is just going to now notice it. And I think his might died. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, y'all, but his might died. Tipsushi bringing his commander up here. He has an interesting path that gets most of the mexes. So I think he went back there so he doesn't have to double back, do anything awkward like that. Walker's gonna has to bring some of his army down to deal with that stray AK. And as a result, he doesn't have much mid control. And the might is going to be able to reclaim these Uloks almost uncontested. Meanwhile, both sides still only on 1. Walker has been getting consistently much more AKs as of recent, and especially with the fact that he's closer. Reinforcements just now arriving, but Walker's army is growing at a rate that is faster than Tipsushi, and Tip isn't exactly playing around the head start here, kind of trying to keep Walker in there while he goes and gets some of the reclaims. There's just some of that micro coming in. Oh. Interesting moves from Tip here. Meanwhile, Tip Commander still just going around capping all of these mexes. Interesting plays. Meanwhile, the Might is going to get the Ulak, so look at the totals. Yeah, Tiptushi doing much better at there. 400 metal ahead, plus getting all the reclaims. Although Walker with his, slide, it looks even right now, but... Oh, Walker, still mad about that roach from last game. He's gonna get one going out here now. Ooh. Looks like both sides have decided that that's the play they want to go for. Alright, I see how it is. And Tip right now just wants to do everything in his power to keep that roach, or the Might alive. Sorry. Different bug. Tip getting a second K-Bot lab down here. We're gonna have to see what he decides to build. Because I saw an MAK out of Walker. I think he might just try to use that to soak up a lot of damage. But here comes the Might. Don't exactly know. Oh, here's Walker's Might. Here's Might. I think that might get there roughly around the same time. Yeah, with Tip's head start. Tip decided to go for it. Seeing some storms and thuds out from Tip. Definitely learning from his previous games, although we're not seeing as much energy power. So he's going on 3 labs on just 300 energy. Meanwhile, Walker starting to get some energy up. We're seeing solar lines. We're seeing almost all of his mexes are now capped. However, it only looks like he has 1 con out, and he's using that to assist. Yeah. So here comes the roaches. They're gonna clash. Although Tip is gonna take the blunt of the blow. We're gonna see a second roach come out. The first one doesn't get on, the second one will, I guess. Wise words from Tiptushi here. Take notes, y'all. Although, this puddle here is really evil map design. Slowing down all sorts of units. And here comes the roach. Walker gonna try to block it with some units here. Really learning from last time. But that is gonna scare him off slightly so that some of the thuds and storms are going to be able to arrive. From the looks of it, Walker has the bigger army, you know, he has this MAK here that's going to be really hard to kill with AKs. Thuds coming in from Tiptushi, but they're not really good in small numbers. Although he has enough AKs to protect him for the storms to arrive, which are really good. We're seeing a vehicle lab coming out up front from Walker, a result of his investment into a lot of construction K-Bots. Meanwhile, Tiptushi gonna run his commander up here. I wonder if he's gonna go for a D-gun play. Yeah, looks like it at this point. Although, I wonder... Walker might have spotted that if he's paying close attention. Quickly scurry back. We're still not seeing much construction unit infrastructure coming out. I think that Tiptushi wants to win early with T1 units, and by early, I mean really early. Also, not much radar coverage, it seems. Yeah, almost none. Or, there is none. I actually ran the Control R right there. But we are seeing thuds and storms and a nice mix of all the Tier 1 units. So, we're gonna have to see raiders coming out from Walker straight out. Ooh. You're playing one. It's a result of 1v1s. Since you have all this metal, it allows you to quickly get that economy, strong economy, because you're playing with the economy of 3 players. If you look at the totals, it's about dead even here, with Walker having a little bit more energy. Meanwhile, I wonder if, looks like his Might is going to get caught out, and he is starting to go his second construction K-Bot out here from Tiptushi. You know, big things. Commander coming out, just scaring everyone off, although, yeah, minimal damage from teeny tiny storms. Ooh, we're getting a Raider out, and then immediately into Vandals. Walker's gonna be mean for that one. Longest range tier 1 unit. It also packs a ridiculous punch. I don't like it. LLT straight out from Tip. Even though he knows that, or he doesn't know yet. Although Walker hasn't gone thuds. Whoa, air coming out from Walker. Didn't see that one coming. Yeah, he reclaimed his K-Bot lab and is now pumping out bombers. That's going to be disastrous for Walker. Absolutely zero anti-air. I have to go straight into crashers. Although from the looks of it, that middle, yeah, he's starting to get pulverizers up quickly, so he will be able to rebuild at least somewhat efficiently. Bombing run coming in. With all the more micro going into that bombing, though, it's not much that can be dedicated to actual micro for the army, so if he decides to push, this could very well be enough to take out that vehicle plant. But let's focus more on those bombers, though. Yeah, taking out all sorts of his infrastructure. See, down from plus 30 to plus 9. It's unfortunate. Well, the armies are going to slam into each other here. It looks like Tiptushi's going to try and kite. Not throwing in the town from there, going into a geothermal. He knows there are bombers. One of these pulverizers here are going to lose at least one bomber, yeah. Second one's already on low health. Looks like it's going to almost get shot down by the commander. Whoa. As for the battle, yeah, these raiders have incredibly high health. So, going to be quite the challenge for just little storms and thuds to take out. They don't deal too much damage though, so I don't have Tiptushi worrying about that. Tip going to be quickly getting his infrastructure back up. Walker choosing to power into tier 2 off this advantage he has. And this vehicle plant has been, I think that, yeah, he reclaimed all of his tier 1 K-Bot labs, so all he has to defend until that tier 2 lab is up is this vehicle lab. Although he should be fine because, as we've seen, there's not much economy in Tiptushi. Although he does have the reclaims from this battle here. He is the victor, so he can be pushing. He can push forward if he wants to actually grab those, although it's mostly his commander reclaiming. Again, not that many construction K-Bots, although now because the bombing, he is going to, yeah, all 3 labs on construction K-Bots, he's trying to build back quick. Checking totals again. Looks like, yeah, Walker's going to have a 3,000 lead. His commander's just going to be straight up here by himself, going to get harassed by Vandals. Interesting. And then, yeah, if you have radar, like with the K-Bot radar, then Vandals are just absolutely a menace to deal with because their range is just so long. They outrange thuds by, let me check here. Yeah, there's the thuds range. And there's the Vandals. So you're going to have almost half an AK worth. And Tiptushi going to go for a vehicle plant right on the front line. Does he have the units to defend like that? I think his plan here is to just not let Walker find out. And there's that tier 2 coming out from Walker. Gonna go straight into Morty's. Interesting play. Tiptushi doesn't really have any thoughts of tier 2 yet. Although the vehicle plant is up, I think that what kind of I like to do is at least you do something dumb, bold, that can be hard to pay off like that. And then if you lose the vehicle plant, you lose the game. so it's kind of a gamble. I think we're going to see some degunning action here soon, though. The Vandal is not going to really get close enough for any degun range. Although, unless... yeah, he's going to grab one there and just tell him to shoo. Although Morty's coming out from a Walker, absolutely massive range. Not as much as Luger's, but Tiptushi's going to have to play the game of how good is my commander might go. Full health commander at least, although it looks like the vehicle plant is going to fall because these Vandals just have such long range. Okay, totals again. Expanding the lead to 5,000 metal. Vehicle plant dies. Tiptushi has to pull some sort of Hail Mary if he plans to come back into this game. No more Uloks. No, there are Uloks. I lied about the first example, but no more Uloks at mid. No more. He's got that geothermal. He has no air, so we're starting to see pyros coming out from Walker. We have to see what goes on. Interesting enough, no geothermals from Walker. I think his economy is entirely based off his solar collector line. I think Tiptushi leaning heavily into thuds, but instigators can terrestrials down. Storms are going to be enough to fend them off, though. But I'm going to see another K-Bot lab coming out slightly behind Tiptushi. Slightly behind the vehicle plant, I mean. I think that Walker is going to back off a little bit, waiting for these Mortys to come up en masse. Since he built his construction K-Bot in the back line. Seeing some Mohos coming out, further expanding his lead. And Tiptushi's just now recovering from that bombing run, getting all those mexes back up. As well as starting to build more into his back line, which Walker, with his air, has been allowing him to do this whole time. We are seeing some mortar shots come out. Bomber, more of a scout there. Ouch. See a little bit of a push coming in. We'll see if we can fend some of the units off. Still coming out with Mortys, probably trying to mask them out. He has good radar coverage of the area, likely probably because of this radar right here, so he does have the support for these long distance units. It's just that these long distance units are now fully pushing up. Also notable is this brave little construction K-Bot and Pyro gonna come in. Absolutely gonna light up those thuds. Very squishy units, die quickly to stuff like that. And the thuds turning around is gonna be perfect for these Mortys to have some of their shells land. MAK gonna come in though. Well, I feel that's gonna die rather quick. Yeah, that one single Pyro getting a lot of value. And now these Mortys are just going to outrange these thugs twice the range, I think. Yeah, literally. Walker sending a mix of Pyros and Mortys. And he has quite a few of them out now. They have really fast build time. So, yeah, they're a good unit to start with, I think, in this scenario. And we're just now seeing an advanced K-Bot lab coming out from Tiptushi, who's been holding on exceptionally well. He's good unit control, as well as a strong support to start. He's going to reclaim his frontline K-Bot lab. Although I think that these Mortys, although Mortys are fairly inaccurate, so that if you group your units up like that, they're going to hit a lot. But I think it's a testament to how long they've lasted. We're seeing a big retreat from Tiptushi. His army is winding down. He has reclaimed another lab to try and get this advanced lab out. But Walker's just so far ahead in economy. Yeah, his lead is up to, I think that's 8,000 metal. So maybe if Tiptushi could get all these reclaims, then he could pull something off, but I didn't really see it. Walker has air support too. Yeah, Instigators and Empire are going to come sweep this whole area. And Mortys are just going to walk up there and roll everything down. There's no radar coverage right now, though, so he's relying entirely off scouting, Instigators scouting for his targeting. Tiptushi just now then turned to his tower, seeing the writing on the wall with how far he is behind in the economy, so that's going to wrap up game number 3 with another win going to Walker. Hello everybody, welcome back to game 4 of the Walker versus Tiptushi marathon. I think this is the last game for today, so I might just upload this as part 1, but if you're noticing a slight quality increase, it's because the last 3 games were recorded on my streaming profile. So I have that really low quality to make it easier to stream on my little Wi-Fi. So yeah, now we're in a higher quality version. Don't expect any increases in the casting quality though. Still working on that. But this time Walker's going to be on the northern team. I'm going to have Tiptushi in the south. Looks like both of them are going to be buffing up their ecos a little bit before going in. So no fast might action in middle. And just a little bit of time for us to get down. Ooh, Walker going to start out with vehicles this time. Looks like we're having a little bit of shake up in the meta. I have to see how that plays out, especially because there's no mites, but I don't think Walker's plan is to go for the reclaims. I think his plan is to use the fact that vehicles are a little bit better to go and win middle and then reclaim later. That's a theme that I've kind of been seeing in some of these games, is that there's a lot of fighting for the mid reclaim, although the mid reclaim isn't reclaimed until much later. So if Walker just focuses on the fight for the reclaim instead of the actual reclaiming, then he might be able to win much better, or have a much higher chance of winning, at least. Send my commander off in a little corner here. And then I'd like to reiterate, this pond is evil because all the units like to pathfind through it and then they get stuck. Stuff going on in TAF for whatever. Yeah, seeing the same thing out of here from Tip, going for these small mexes before going for the big mexes. Interesting. We have one construction unit on the lab. Meanwhile, I think Walker's gonna boost up his economy and then have Commander on the lab, and then focus on walking later. A lot of weasels coming out. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 weasels into his first construction unit. Meanwhile, Tiptushi gonna go AKs. And he's just gonna have him sit there. Only one AK pushing forward, the rest of them just hanging back here and spawn. Meanwhile, his commander walks. And an interesting side effect of having your commander on lab is that you don't have to walk as far for solar collectors. Like, his solar collectors and mechs is more spaced out, so you spend more time walking and you don't get to build faster. Although for solar collectors you can build them whenever. Your commander still has a lot of time walking instead of building. And then it's almost like Tiptushi's going to correctly predict the vehicle play and successfully defend versus some of these weasels here. At least now Tiptushi knows that vehicles are in play. And Walker gonna take a play out of Lemminkainen's book, Fast Leveler. These are actually getting nerfed in the next update because of they're not fast, but they accelerate instantly. They go from 0 to 100 immediately, and that's just incredibly annoying to deal with, especially if you're trying to mix up units. They're really good to micro around the bottom, and then AKs are gonna be impossible to deal with. So we're going to have to see what Tiptushi does. Because if he goes MAKs, then they're just not going to be able to keep up with the levelers. They're just going to go right past and then going to wreak havoc on Tiptushi's backline. Radar coming out. Leveler coming out. A little bit of PTSD from last game when he forgot any and all air defense, and as a result, his economy was crippled. The Weasels only. Tiptushi's going to see if he can take a little bit of advantage here, not knowing that Walker's just going to go straight into levelers. And I think he literally is just going to full production line levelers with one construction vehicle, as much metal as they do cost. Let's see, how much are they? 265. Yeah, over twice the cost of one instigator, but getting so much more value. And then a little bit of weasel swatting in the back. We're going to have to see what happens. I think he wants to group up maybe 3 or 4 before pushing in, however. Looking back here, Commander getting some more mexes up. Look at totals. Tiptushi is going to be 400 metal ahead. Although we're going to have to see how that plays out with Walker putting a lot of his metal into levelers early on instead of expanding. Only one construction unit going out to cap these mexes. There's a vehicle construction unit though, so I'm going to cut down on the time in between. Here comes the levelers. I'm going to blast a lot of these AKs. Down to just 2 weasels though, this leveler. He just does so much damage. Yeah, 2 taps and... I guess at 3 taps and okay. But when it's surrounded like this... Yeah, there, now it goes. But a second leveler is coming in. We're going to have to see what Tiptushi's response is to this. Because even the trickle of levelers is going to be enough to deal with the AKs. It's going to need serious groups, although Walker has switched to instigators. The weight on his economy was just a little bit too much to bear. And yeah, Tiptushi pulling even just a little bit further ahead, up to 1.2 thousand metal ahead. Mainly thinks this might instantly going to get one tapped by the leveler. And then this leveler is just going to get straight down by these AKs. Yeah. And now it's just one leveler backed up by instigators. As Walker tries to get another con out. And we're Tiptushi taking a play out of last game. We've seen that a lot in these series. Gonna immediately go bombers to see if he can beat out Walker's anti-air building. And then leveler is gonna show how effective it is at dealing with the AKs. Oh, if it gets caught out like that, that's quite a bit of damage on it. We're gonna have to see what his response is. And the response is MAKs. Although again, they just don't have the incredible speed of the levelers. And if we start to see pillagers come out from, or not pillagers, I think, whatever they were called, vandals come out from Walker, then they're just gonna be sitting ducks out in the open. And then this is an unsupported lab pumping out shadow bombers with only one con assisting this single K-bot lab here. Spaced out solar collectors. Interesting play here. And looks like he just has a small group of AKs to defend these instigators here. And this leveler is incredibly low health. If you can swat it down, then this entire attack party is going to be much, much harder to deal with. Although we have MAKs coming out. Bombing coming in from Tiptushi faster than he can handle his anti-air. So yeah, we're just going to see pulverizers coming out immediately from almost every single construction unit on play. MAK is going to successfully deal with that leveler. Finding the radar, and also all of the unprotected mexes. That's going to set Walker even further back in economy. Yeah, almost 1,500 metal ahead. Wow. And I wonder if it's going to get off-screened to save it. Yeah. It's almost a complete mirror matchup from last time with northern team having control of mid, but the southern team just bulking up the economy. Although I think Tiptushi had a bit of an economy advantage last game too, in terms of getting the reclaims, but this game he got some of the reclaims before his might got popped. So we're gonna have to see what happens. His commander is walking up. much like last game, much like the game before that where Walker did that. Yeah. Although, side effect of raiding early is now your opponent gets all the juicy little reclaims, so we're gonna have to see what Walker does. Still only on one lab to Tiptushi's, also one lab, but also a aircraft plant. So Tiptushi does have a bit of a extra drain on his economy from trying to produce planes. This is assisted by a construction K-bot though, and then pumping out many construction vehicles. Definitely going to be trying to economy fat. Whoa, bit of some Avenger harassment going on here. Unprotected mexes, youch. And then we have a trillion instigators. Whoa, that's an aggressive advanced lab. Because MAK is not going to be able to handle these instigators. We're going to have to see what Tiptushi can do here. Looks like he's gonna, the answer is just gonna be commander. And also getting his con out of here. And how fast can a commander put down the light laser tower before getting to D-gunning? That's an incredible D-gun lane right there if he has the energy for it. No energy! Oh god. Yeah. He has the energy for a D-gun now, I think. Yeah, there's going to be almost all of them just immediately disappearing off the face of the earth, but not going to be enough to get the commander, but that was incredibly scary for Tiptushi. Stark reminder of how much energy that you want to have. Yeah, Geo coming out, but it's only part of the way complete. I'm going to save that energy storage, get a nice little group of reclaims here. Walker has no army. Man. But then again, also complaining about the amount of lag Tiptushi has. Walker's based in North America, and Tiptushi is going to be based out of Finland, so there is going to be quite a bit of connection issues, but other than that, looks like it's just going to be standard gameplay so far. A little bit of a cheating accusation. I'll see what happens, because I'm on kind of a neutral play. A bit of taff going on right here. I'll just tell him off. Yeah. No, Tiptushi doing what Walker did last game, getting a fast tier 2 out from K-bot though. With only one small K-bot lab to support it. Meanwhile, Walker just now getting his second lab up. That all that entire gameplay was from one lab each. Now another team so far is going to be expanding into these outside areas, interestingly enough. I think both of them are just a little bit scared, although Walker, plenty of construction K-bots pushing out. And yeah, from the looks of it, let's check totals again, see who's up in the economy. Tiptushi gonna be 4,000 ahead, and if he gets Moho mines out, then that could be devastating. We're going to have to see who gets all the reclaims, though, because that was Walker pushing into Tiptushi, so plenty for them right there. Mass MAK is coming out. With only 2 levelers to speak of. There are Vandals, though. Although we're going to have to see just how effective those are. Tiptushi gonna go cans, following the school of thought of big unit better, he thinks. As well as both backlines are looking solid, getting some geos out from Tiptushi. No geos on Walker's side though. And then that's gonna be a fat D-gun from Walker. Whoa. Looks like he's also pushed his commander up a little bit. One MAK is going to slam back, but they're just not fast enough to particularly do anything. Advantage of the levelers. Starting to see cans out from Tiptushi, as well as some mohos. But Tiptushi's been playing much more aggressively with these last few games going to Walker. And then going to be doing a bit of scouting with some Avengers. Going to catch out. Not going to fully catch out that metal extractor. Now Tiptushi's going to have to rely on this tier 2 really to carry the mid battles. Walker getting quite a good army coming out from these 2 vehicle labs, and I don't think that Tiptushi was using this tier 1. Now we're seeing a bit of expansion downwards, but the question still remains, is this tier 2 going to be able to compete with Walker's tier 1 army? We're seeing a 3rd vehicle plant before tier 2. I don't think that Walker knows that Tip is tier 2 yet. Going back to totals. Yeah, we're up still 3k ahead for Tiptushi. Let's see how cans. Mid Ulok still remain untouched. Now it's up to cans to defend against these instas. Very tanky units. Also deal quite a punch. So very good for cleaning up this miscellaneous swarm, although in slightly larger numbers that Tiptushi has right now. And ooh, a Valkyrie coming out from Tiptushi. Glad I saw that. I'm gonna be looking for a drop here sometime soon. And cans is too slow to particularly keep up with any and all the instigators going down towards this little economy sector right here. That's going to be a bit unfortunate. Although it's a bit better. Gotta give it to Walker for not pushing into the commander again. I'm curious to see what Tiptushi plans to do with this Valkyrie. Starting to see some tier 2 from Walker. He knows he has a great advantage right now. The question is, does he know how to play it? Considering he is quite a bit behind in metal. Although in terms of metal on the field, I think that Walker right now has the advantage. Oh, that poor little construction K-bot, nothing to defend it. Huh? And Walker's going to clutch his pearls, not going to go after it. Huge boon for Tiptushi. Tiptushi going to push in all of 3 cans, 2 MAKs. And then there's still this army down here that he has to deal with. We're going to see what he chooses to do with that, if he's even paying attention. Of course he is. And then looks like the Valkyrie drop is going to be quite good. Getting a great bit of backline shenanigans going on here. Terrifying, ooh. You're gonna see some homophobic slurs coming out from Walker. That's what we like to see in these games. Yeah, Walker forced to pull his army back, and he just doesn't have the firepower to kill these cans. Commander is close, but a bit back that, further back than he would like. I mean, Walker just doesn't have the power. He's forced to pull this army back. I think quite a solution for his problem of those things pushing up. Gonna pull his cans back, worried about another D-gun. And this is forcing Walker to head straight into Reapers. So yeah, quick cans were quite the move here. Then he has all sorts of this infantry up here, but not doing much with it. Then this can, just so much firepower and so much health packed into it that Walker doesn't really have anything that he can deal with it. Look at that health trickling down so slowly. And Walker just gonna full send his commander in here. We're gonna have to see how that plays out. I'm wondering if he's just up and giving up right now. Yeah, Reaper finally gonna put an end to this menace of a can. We're gonna see Mortys come out behind some of these cans. It's just hard to deal with. Yeah, I think that Walker plans to just full send his commander. Starting to get it cloaked here. Although he doesn't have the full energy to support that cloak. I think that's going to be seen on his radar, yeah, so he is going to go deal that. I think this is Walker throwing in the towel here. That was a great drop by Tiptushi. So, and now we're just on comm watch. Do these cans finally finish the job? And I think survey says yes. So another GG's out here. Game 4 is going to go out to Tiptushi. Yeah. Walker getting very salty. That's going to be game 4 going to Tiptushi. The current score is going to be 2-2, and I think this is going to end part 1 of the series.